this time, it is critical that we continue to prioritize the health and safety of students, staff, and their families so that we can continue with the safe return to in-person learning.
Ontario announces it's pushing back its March break for public schools as concerns about new variants mount. 2 Brampton teachers at a Catholic high school test positive, one confirmed to have the new UK variant. And an update on Marco Amuzzo has devastated the Neville Lake family once again. Humber News starts now. Hello, I'm Jeremy Uden, coming to you with our virtual newscast from Humber College. It's Friday, February 12th, and here's what's making the news. The Ontario government has announced its postponing of March break for public schools until the week of April 12th. Education Minister Stephen Lecce says the delay is intended to discourage travel at a crucial point in the pandemic in order to help reduce community transmissions.
C is for cat. Cat.
Lecce says the decision was guided by the province's public health officials. He says the move will also help to ease further disruptions to in-class learning that has already been delayed with the stay-at-home orders.
We recognize that congregation is a key driver of the spread of COVID-19, something we realized over the winter break, and we will not take that risk again with your child, with our staff, with Ontario families.
But the province's teachers' unions are criticizing the move, saying the regularly scheduled March break is much needed as a break for teachers, students, and families who continue to struggle under enormous pressure, leading to a spike in mental health issues. 2 Brampton High School teachers have tested positive for COVID-19 after exercising together at school, and one has been confirmed with the new variant B117. A spokesperson for the board says the teachers at St. Roch Catholic Secondary School exercised together without wearing a mask, despite the board prohibiting recreational use of gyms and weight rooms by staff. According to the board, the teachers have been teaching remotely from the school, where they still have to access smartboards, AV, and other tools available to provide a better learning environment. Quote, "It's important to note that the school was closed to general in-person learning at the time that the exposure occurred," Lowe said. Quote, "And from our investigation, we have identified that no one else was exposed and that the outbreak has been declared over and individuals are safely self-isolating," said Peel Region's Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Lawrence Lowe. Dr. Lawrence Lowe says no one else has been exposed and the outbreak has been declared over and individuals are self-isolating. Moving over to the East Coast, Newfoundland is now dealing with an outbreak of COVID cases. The number doubled in recent days, and this is after the province had been with so few cases for months. New restrictions are coming into Newfoundland and Labrador, and public health is widening its testing criteria. As of Wednesday, more than 1,600 people have been tested, and the result, the province is reporting 100 new cases and there are more than 210 active. The vast majority of them are teenagers from a high school just outside St. John's. The province's top doctor warns that there's likely more cases to come.
I believe that going so long with low case counts of COVID led to complacency, and we are now seeing the repercussions.
The school has been closed all week, and students and staff are forced to stay at home. As the province heads into an election this weekend, the handling of the pandemic is the focal point. In Alberta, eligible frontline workers who are vulnerable to the virus will now receive a one-time payment from the provincial government. A cost-shared program with the federal government looks to help 380,000 Albertans working during the pandemic. The $4 billion program allowed the premier to pledge an additional $118 million of Alberta's share on top of the $465 million going towards the checks. This one-time payment of $1,200 is considered an acknowledgement for frontline workers.
These workers are the ones who have sustained and maintained Alberta through the first and second waves of the pandemic at very considerable risk to themselves, and they will continue doing that through the months to come as we ramp up vaccine distribution.
About 240,000 public sector workers will receive the money automatically, and 161,000 private health sector workers can apply online and qualify if they make $25 an hour or less and work the minimum of 300 hours from October to January. Those eligible include gas station attendants, grocery cashiers, school bus drivers, social workers, counselors, custodians, nurses, and hospital orderlies. Alberta has reported 351 new cases of COVID-19, with 6 deaths, and reopened its restaurants and businesses with restrictions as of Monday. After 6 years, Marco Muzzo, the man responsible for the deaths of 3 Neville Lake children and their grandfather, has been granted full parole. In September of 2015, Muzzo returned from his bachelor party and changed the lives of the Neville Lake family forever. 10-year-old Daniel, 5-year-old Harry, and 2-year-old Millie, alongside their grandfather Gary Neville, lost their lives after Muzzo was driving while under the influence, causing a major collision. Though news of his parole shocked the Brampton community, especially Jennifer Neville Lake, mother and daughter, who is still processing her tragic loss. After the hearing, she tweeted out, quote, "No matter what happened today, Daniel, Harry, and Millie are not coming back home. My dad isn't coming home to my mom. Nothing's changed for me." To respect the wishes of Jennifer and her husband, Edward, they have asked Muzzo to stay out of the Peel region to lessen their chance of crossing paths. In a court statement read by Muzzo, he said, quote, "I'm not asking for forgiveness, and nor do I ever expect it," he told the board. Quote, "I know my reintegration has been slow and will continue to be slow and steady." Muzzo was originally sentenced to 10 years behind bars after pleading in 2016 and is also under a 12-year driving ban. South of the border, Democrats continue their second impeachment case against Donald Trump as damaging video rises against the former president.
What you are about to hear has not been made public before.
House managers are charging Trump with inciting insurrection by encouraging thousands of supporters to storm the Capitol. The House spent Wednesday recounting the events on Capitol Hill. Mobs of rioters are smashing windows and doors, breaching through the Senate chamber. This is all happening while Vice President Mike Pence and his family are escaping downstairs. Staff here are scurrying to this nearby barricade conference room where they hid. More video shows Utah Senator Mitt Romney being escorted to safety. Impeachment managers are calling Trump insider-in-chief for manipulating his supporters on a fake election. As well, dozens of Republicans have had enough of Trump's antics and are leaving the party. They are now in talks of forming the anti-Trump third party. As for the trials, the defense side will begin as the case may be closed as soon as this weekend. A picture shared by the sister of women's rights activist Loujain Al-Hathloul was released, confirming her freedom from a Saudi prison. In 2018, Al-Hathloul was just one of a dozen other activists jailed for leading the Women to Drive campaign, pushing for the end of male guardianship and the creation of a women's shelter. Al-Hathloul became the face of female activism in Saudi Arabia after recording and sharing videos of herself behind the wheel and voicing her criticism on social media. In a press briefing yesterday, Her family said they are still pushing for investigation into torture allegations.
She said, what did you want me to do? I had the electrocution thing on my ear, and if I would complain about anything, they were ready to electrocute me. And you know, so I just hearing her from her also is yeah, it's heartbreaking.
While many celebrate her release, Haflul and her family fear nothing will change.
Because Lujan is released doesn't mean that women's rights in Saudi Arabia improved. As long as she cannot campaign for women's rights, as long as she cannot be an activist again, things won't change.
Al Haflul, a UBC alum, has strong ties to Canada, where she has received support online. Netflix is planning to open its first Canadian office, calling it a big first step in increasing its production ties to Canada. Although the streaming service did not settle on the location, they are thinking of Toronto and Vancouver. A lot of production for Netflix has already taken place in those cities, such as superhero series The Umbrella Academy in Toronto and drama series Firefly Lane in Vancouver. The company is in the process of hiring a local content executive and planning to include such departments as marketing and publicity. Quote, "We're not just going to put one person in a little office in one city in one place in Canada. We're looking to grow our relationship with the creative community in Canada. So that'll be as open geographically as Canada is." Sarandos says they want to be closer to Canadian creators and to keep their fingers on the pulse. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers took to the waters on Wednesday to celebrate their winnings from the annual Super Bowl 55. The Buccaneers held their championship parade on the Hillsborough River near downtown Tampa Bay after they defeated the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday 31-9. The team boarded 4 boats and hit the water, where they celebrated with fans in a socially distanced environment. Jane Castro, the mayor of Tampa, emphasized that who attended the parade must wear masks and follow social distancing guidelines. All eyes were on Tom Brady, the Super Bowl MVP, whose most important throw of the year came during the parade when he tossed the Vince Lombardi trophy to his teammate Cameron Brate. The Bucs quarterback signed a 2-year deal with Tampa Bay last offseason, and in his first year with the team, helped solidify their second championship in franchise history and winning for the first time since Super Bowl 37 back in 2003. That's all for today. I'm Jeremy Uden. Humber News is written and produced by students in the journalism program. For more coverage, visit our website, humbernews.ca, and follow us on Twitter at JRNL. We'll see you again next time.